Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to be covering a few big stories that the mainstream media isn't giving enough attention. I think you deserve to know what's going on in your country and in your government, so stick with me to the very end. The government shutdown has been averted for now. The bill went from 1,500 pages to 150 pages. It included money to keep the government running, financial obligations to Americans and seniors and those owed interest by our government. It also added $100 billion to the national deficit. So that was a loss, but the bill went through. It was a major win, though, for Trump and MAGA Republicans. It was the first time that Doge got into action, and I believe they saved the American people around $300 billion, avoided giving immunity to Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and all of the other January 6th committee members that basically tried to do a coup and reputation damage on Donald J. Trump. It also avoided giving members of Congress a 40% raise. Now, if they're going to give themselves a raise, why not do it a little bit every year? But just to jump 40%, you guys are insane. And this is never going to happen again. However, many senators like Rand Paul and Mike Lee of Utah were still very disappointed in House Speaker Mike Johnson for allowing such a monster bill to come out in Congress in the dark of night. Here's exactly what Senator Mike Lee of Utah had to say. The continuing resolution that passed last night was better than the 1,547-page disaster dumped in our laps just a few days ago. Unfortunately, it still contained $111 billion in deficit spending with no corresponding cuts. I could not vote for it in good conscience, so he didn't. Mike Lee continues, the American people just returned Donald Trump to the White House and just gave the GOP control over both the House and the Senate in a large part because they were hurting from runaway inflation caused by Joe Biden's reckless federal spending. They are counting on us to stop it. Yes, exactly. That's exactly why we put Trump and MAGA Republicans in charge. We're sick of the inflation. We're sick of the endless wars. We're sick of these vote in the middle of the night pay raises for Congress. Mike Lee further said, we should not turn around and continue Biden's mistakes. Our national debt will soon exceed the size of our economy. We have annual budget deficits totaling nearly $2 trillion. And this year, the federal government will spend more on interest payments to service our debt than we spend on our own national defense. Now, that's terrifying to me. We give more money in interest to China and India and other countries that lent us money than we even spend on the U.S. military. That is scary. Now, as my friend Elon Musk recently said, this is Mike Lee, not me. I would love to be friends with Elon Musk, but Mike Lee said, as my friend Elon Musk recently said, what the federal government does not receive in direct revenue, they make up for in inflation. They just print money. So all federal spending is taxation. Americans shouldn't be losing their money to more federal spending or the invisible tax of inflation. I look forward to working with President Trump and Doge to cut wasteful government programs, restore fiscal responsibility, and allow American families to prosper. Now, let me know over in the comments, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is correct, that they should not spend any money going forward that they don't bring in tax revenue? They already tax us too much. And then they go, you know what? We've been abusing the American people, but it's not enough. But if we abuse them anymore, They'll rebel. They'll burn down buildings. They'll call for our head on a platter. So what do? They just print fake money, and then your money gets watered down, and your money buys less food, and your money buys less car, and it's an invisible tax. So you get taxed, then they invent more money, and you end up paying more tax. The number one beneficiary of high inflation is the federal government. Now, after 3 attempts, Speaker Mike Johnson successfully secured House approval for his latest bill, leading the White House to stop shutdown preparation. Known as Plan C, this version is similar to his earlier proposal, but excludes Trump's plan to address the debt ceiling. It includes a spending package, disaster relief, money to farmers, and an extension of the Farm Bill. You know, I can think of so many better things we could spend money on. Like, think if they gave $250 billion to American farmers instead of Ukraine. Think how much better our food quality would be, how much better our water would be, how much better animals would be treated, and how much more affordable food in America would be. But no, what do they want? They want the blood of young Ukrainians dead on the battlefield. Now, during a Friday CNN broadcast with show host Jim Sciotto, Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin shared his thoughts on the government funding bill and whether he thinks it's a win overall. Representative Jamie Raskin stated, Donald Trump was attempting to abolish the debt ceiling entirely to allow for them to have this vast tax cut for the wealthy again. So given where we were, this was probably the best possible solution. But of course, it was not what we had agreed to originally. There were 6 weeks of arduous negotiation and then bipartisan agreement for a deal that got blown up by a tweet. This guy is so full of bullcrap, it's coming out his nose. There was no bipartisan agreement. Nobody knew what was in the bill. And there was no tax cuts for the rich. This was about getting money from members of Congress. So don't tell me that Donald Trump was trying to give you a 40% raise in the dark of night, Jamie Raskin, you liar. But even though a spending bill passed, Trump appears less than confident in Speaker Mike Johnson's leadership abilities. The fact is, Trump wanted him to include more in this bill, and it wasn't there. Interestingly, Democrats may be leaning towards backing Mike Johnson again. According to Breitbart News, Senator Mitt Romney told reporters, there may be an effort to blow everything up, but I think Democrats are smarter than that. They'd give Johnson the support. Mitt Romney, get the heck out of the Senate. Nobody cares what you have to think. And the fact that you're like, well, I think we could get Democrats to support Mike Johnson. We don't give a crap. You think we give a crap what Democrat leaders want and care about? We don't. We care what we want. We care what the American people want. So get out of Congress immediately. Now, Johnson might want to tread carefully with this next speakership election on January 3rd. President Trump is watching and testing him, and it seems like, for the most part, he's been fairly disappointed in him, but he hasn't publicly said that just yet. Now, let me know over in the comments, do you think Speaker Mike Johnson will have President Trump's support or MAGA support to remain Speaker of the House? I personally believe Trump is staying quiet until we get closer to January 3rd. And from what I'm hearing at the Charlie Kirk event this week, many MAGA leaders want Mike Johnson relieved of duty. In fact, they've been floating the idea of Elon Musk being put in as Speaker of the House. And in fact, there's legal precedent to have somebody who isn't a voted-in member of Congress, not to fill the role in Congress, but to fill the role of Speaker of the House in Congress. And they're saying, well, right now we need somebody with courage, somebody with a backbone, and somebody with some brains. And guess who would be great at that? Vivek Ramaswamy or Elon Musk. Now, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Would they make an incredible Speaker of the House? They're brilliant. They're articulate. They've got just, massive courage. Another person I think that has a lot of courage that would do great would be Byron Donalds from Florida. But let me know over in the comments what you think about all of that. Now, as Steve Bannon from the War Room said yesterday at the Charlie Kirk event, now is not the time to focus on bipartisan spending. Who cares what the Democrats want? Look at the damage they've done to the country getting what they want. Look at the damage they've done to all of us. Now is the time to use the Republican majority to change the country for the better. Let me know over in the comments, do you agree with Steve Bannon? Now's not the time to give in to Democrats. Now is the time to get what we want. It's our turn in the driver's seat. This is how government works. We are the majority. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. By the way, this is amazing. And let me know what you think of this. One of the smartest things to come out of all of this government shutdown drama has been Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy saying, as soon as a new bill drops going forward, we will immediately run it through AI software to break down the bill, find the pork and the wasteful spending. They will then demand it be released to the American people so that they can read the bill or the Cliff Notes version of the bill, and then they can call their representative to say, we agree or we disagree. Here's what they had to say. Never again will a bill pass in the dark of night. Never again will we allow these swamp creatures to be able to sneak wasteful spending past us in the middle of the night. I love it. I think that is just absolutely beautiful. And I absolutely love the idea of that. All right. You guys are saying yes for Musk, yes for AI, never again. Who's going to be held accountable? Vivek for Speaker of the House. All right. I love it. All right. Listen to this. This makes me so mad. A new bombshell report out shows that President Joe Biden made family members of the 13 Marines that died at Abbey Gate during the botched Afghanistan withdrawal wait 3 hours on the tarmac to receive the dead bodies of their children so that he could take a nap. President Biden made these parents wait 3 hours standing at the airport tarmac so that he could take a nap because he is mentally ill and cannot stay awake. This is disgusting to me. This is absolutely disgusting. This is not leadership. He should have been down there having empathy and sympathy, hugging these people, saying, I am so sorry that your hero children who were at Abbey Gate died. I am so sorry. Instead, he took a 3-hour nap and then he checked his watch over and over and over again. This is absolutely disgusting. And he needs to be called out. I mean, this is the kind of bull crap that the American people need to know about. Takes a nap on Air Force One for 3 hours while people wait for the bodies of their dead children. And then all he can do is check his watch. You guys, this is horrifying. I can't imagine the parents of these 13 children learning this morning, that the reason that they stood there in the wind on the tarmac for 3 hours was so that Joe Biden could take a nap. What a pathetic human being. Let me know over in the comments, what do you think? He's got blood on his hands. He is just such a pathetic human being. I mean, and you guys saw my report yesterday, right? That they were purposely burying the fact that he has had dementia for his entire presidency. The Blackish Cracker, thank you for sharing your thoughts and opinions. Thank you. I appreciate that super chat. Kathy, Johnson has to go. I believe he is compromised. I think the FBI have a Diddy video on him. Maybe. Either way, he's not doing a great job. I can tell you that. Byron Donald's next speaker. Elon is too busy. I agree. That's my worry is Elon is a genius and so is Vivek, but we don't want to stretch them. We don't want to stretch them too thin. That's my worry. Whoa, Joe, if I ran my budget the way the government does, I would have to claim bankruptcy because I can't just print money like they do. Amen. Absolutely amen. Crazy. Yeah, amen. God bless. God bless you. I appreciate that, Blackish Cracker. I really do. Thank you so much. Chandler Wheeling, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. All right, let me get back to the daily news. Isn't this just crazy? I cannot wait. Let me know over in the comments. Are you like just beyond excited to kick Joe Biden and his handlers out of the White House? This is the most pathetic presidency of my lifetime. Kamala Harris is awful and Joe Biden is worse. Unbelievable. All right, now in an effort to save his legacy, which has been tainted by lies, President Joe Biden just announced that he will do student loan forgiveness for 55,000 public workers. To be eligible for the forgiveness, you must be a service worker who is enrolled in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and have made 10 years worth of payments on your student loan debt. If so, Biden wants to forgive it. President Biden announced this new loan forgiveness package by stating, the public servants approved for debt cancellation today include teachers, nurses, service members, law enforcement, and other public service workers who have dedicated their lives to giving back to their communities and who are finally earning the relief they are entitled to under the law. Well, wouldn't you know it? Most of those are Democrat unions. Seems like he's trying to buy off future voters because they're so damn disappointed in Kamala Harris and in Joe Biden himself. Unbelievable. All right, let me keep going on this. President Biden is also commuting the sentences of significantly more people. According to Breitbart News, Biden is reportedly considering commuting most, if not all, of the 40 men currently on death row. Fox News correspondent Bill Mulligan wrote on X that the high-profile inmate like the Charleston shooter, Dylan Roof, and Boston Marathon bomber, Dzorka Tesnarev, are among those on the list. The Wall Street Journal further reported that if Biden moves forward with the commutations, the prisoners, all those convicted of murder, would serve life without parole. So these people who took the lives of half a dozen to over a dozen people, Biden is saying, you know what? These people deserve to live on the taxpayers' dime at $100,000 a year for the rest of their lives. Come on, man. I mean, I know we're past the Old Testament, a tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye, a hand for a hand, all of that stuff. But my gosh, you're forgiving people with inappropriate images of children, Chinese spies, judges that made millions of dollars sending children and teenagers to prison. And now the freaking Boston Marathon bomber. Are you kidding me? It's like Biden is trying to have the worst presidency in American history. I mean, unbelievable. This guy is such a loser. I don't know why he wants to do that, you guys. To me, it's just absolutely asinine. I just don't understand this human being. In some good news, the state of Texas was able to block President Biden from selling the border wall materials for pennies on the dollar. That way, when President Trump gets in and shuts down the border, they can immediately get to work on rebuilding those walls. All right, in some final good news, Kamala Harris's campaign advisor, Lindy Lee, has quit the Democrat Party. She says, I don't want to be a part of this tent anymore. I don't want to be a part of this craziness anymore. I want to be part of the team that treats me with common decency. Lindy Lee says she's been the target of a smear and cancel culture campaign because she dared to ask the question, where is the money, Kamala Harris? Your donors deserve to know. Where is the money? You guys, I predicted this a couple of days ago. I said, don't be surprised if this beautiful brilliant Asian woman who was the fundraiser manager for Kamala Harris doesn't say, boom, I am moving on. I'm becoming a Republican. I knew it. She is too smart to be treated this bad. She has too much common sense. This is another huge win for the MAGA Republicans. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. You guys, I believe the devil is running Joe Biden, and he is not running the White House. But man, we have got to get this evil out. They are an America last presidency. They do not care about you. They do not care about your family. They do not care about your children. They do not care about the military. They are the biggest piece of crap to ever walk in the White House. And I cannot wait until January 20th when we kick those fools to the curb and put President Donald J. Trump back in office. I love you guys. I'm off to an event. I get to sit with President Trump tomorrow and listen to him speak for an hour. I can't wait to tell you all about it. I love you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.